All right, welcome back to another tutorial video for the game of Dice Baseball. My name is Brian Hafferkamp, and I'm the designer and creator of the game of Dice Baseball. And in this video, I'm going to show you a little sample of gameplay. So we have J.R. Richard for the Astros, and he'll be facing off against several hitters from the 79 Cincinnati Reds. So this is, these are actual, this happened. During the 79 season, they faced off against one another. We have our game engine chart with our conditionals. We have our player finder. We have a few things for the glossary here. And then I have my charts and things over to the side, so probably going to need those along the way. And so let's just go through. First at bat here for Joe Morgan, and then you'll just roll. First, we're going to look at the die here. That's a 5, so we're going to be looking off of the pitcher chart. And then we have the way we read that is low number first. So a 36 off the pitcher chart is going to be a ground ball, a hard grounder, and that's going to be to the second baseman. You can see here. So we match up our hard grounder with a 4, and that meets at second base. So Morgan grounds out to second base, and the second baseman, who is maybe Dickie Thon or somebody like that, I don't know who it is over there, brings up Ray Knight. So 1 out with Ray Knight coming to the plate. We already have a rare play here, so this might be interesting. So a batter, and then a 4-5 off of the batter, and that's going to be a K. And so we would look in our K, but we have a 10. So that's going to be a rare play for the strikeouts. So let me pull that out real quick. So I have a rare play chart for the strikeouts. We're just going to roll. 2, batter holds up his swing. On the appeal, the ump says he went around. Strike 3. So that is going to be 2 down as Ray Knight goes down swinging. Okay, Johnny Bench to the plates. 2 down and nobody on for Johnny Bench. This is going to be off the batter side again. A 34 is going to be a ground ball, normal ground ball, just a regular 2-hopper, and that's going to go to the second baseman. So Johnny Bench also grounds out to the opposite side, and that's out number 3. So we come to the second inning, be George Foster against J.R. Richard. Again, off the batter side. 16 is going to be our first conditional. So are the hits for the batter greater than 149? No. So it's not a single, it's a ground ball. And so he's going to ground out again on a rare play. And we would need to find our ground ball normal plays. So it sort of bleeds over into these top 2 over here. So we'll see if we have to use that. We have a 7 on a normal ground ball. Broken bat distracts the third baseman. The ball goes into left field for a single. So instead of being a ground out, that's actually going to be a single for George Foster. So George Foster stands at first base, and we'll just set him out here since he's at first. And that brings up Dan Dreesen. Dreesen with 1 on and nobody out in the second inning. We have off the pitcher side, a 2-4, a 24 is going to be a single. And so now we have runners at first and second base. No automatic advancement there. With 2 outs, you can give the runners an extra base. But with 1 out, it would just be they advance as far as the hit goes. Dave Collins up next, right fielder for Cincinnati. And this is off of the batter. So 1-2 is a 12. Here's another conditional. So that's going to be a walk percentage less than 5%. His walk percentage is 6%. So that is not true. And so he is going to take a walk. And now we have the bases loaded. And I know you can't see that, so we have our little bases loaded situation here. You can see first, second, and third, and it'll be back to Joe Morgan. I don't have the entire lineup here, so Joe Morgan gets another at bat. Nobody out, bases loaded against J.R. Richard. Let's go ahead and play the infield in. I'll show you how that works. Let me pull up our infield in chart. All right. So infield in, we have bases loaded with nobody out, and so we're going to roll against this this part of the chart here. So let's see what we got. We got a 1. That's a ground out to home plate. Runners on first and second advance. The batter is safe at first. So that should say ground out at home plate, not to home plate, but it's at home plate. So Morgan grounds out. The Foster is out at third. All the runners move up. And Morgan is going to be safe at first. So, but it's going to be 1 out. So that runner at third has been eliminated. That sounds so bad. He's been eliminated. And so you would roll, and we're going to re-roll again to get a bat or a player. So you have a 9 on a shallow, a soft grounder. We could do a normal ground. Let's just do a normal grounder. So a 9 is going to be grounded to third base. So the third baseman makes the throw to home, gets the force out at home. So that's how that will work. Bases loaded, still 1 out. We're going to keep them in, and we're using this chart now. So a 6, 1 to 6, ground out to home plate. Runner, exact same thing that happened before. So it's going to be just a fielder's choice at home. This time it is. We'll have to use this grounded hard because the catcher is not going to make the play at home. So you could either flip that over to the first baseman or the pitcher, and because the catcher is not going to make the out at home on a ground ball. So we'll say pitcher 1 to 2 on the out, and now it's 2 down. Dreesen is eliminated. Collins to third, Morgan to second, Ray Knight to first, and Johnny Bench to the plate with 2 down and the bases loaded. Here we're going to play the infield back, so we don't need that chart anymore. And this will be off the pitcher, a 26. 26 is going to be a ground ball with an asterisk, and that's an auto double play with 2 outs. No need to do that. So we have an 8, and you use here. 8 is to the second baseman. Bench grounds out to second again, and that is going to end the inning. And Richard escapes the jam. Bases loaded, nobody out, and by bringing the infield in, they were able to salvage. I'm sorry, not salvage, but get out of the inning. Sorry about that. So they're able to get out of the inning with no runs scored, and J.R. Richard pulls a bit of a Houdini act. So that's a couple of innings, half innings of gameplay, and it flows just like that. So it's not a difficult game, lots of good flow to the game. Everything makes sense. So there's not a ton of calculations that you have to do, but you can see that there are, there's some detail to the game as well. It's not a quick play game. It is definitely an at-bat by at-bat type of game. But the conditionals come in and they allow you to sort of separate different attributes of the players. And, you sort of catch those extremes, if you will. And this is adapted again for the 1970s. I will be adapting game engine charts for different eras. And I actually do the calculations. So I take 10 years worth of data, and then actually what is the average batting average for that time? What is the average number of home runs for your regular player, and then allow that to inform where these results are on the sheet, and then how we can manipulate those results for high home run hitters or low home run hitters, etc. So hopefully that's a good introduction to the game. If you haven't checked out the rest of the game components, go back and look at the rest of the game components. There's separate videos for each of those, sort of outlining what all is on the hitter card, the batter card, what you need to get the game going. And if you want to purchase the game, you can go to thegameofdicebaseball.com, and always looking for this logo. This will be the logo. And the 1979, you can see here, 1979 is going to be the first season. I'm also working on 1972. So hopefully I can release those both in conjunction, and you have a little bit of a choice there if you prefer one season over the other. They're going to be reasonably priced. The introductory price is $7. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to raise the price, so go out and get it while you can. But it's going to go up to $10, and it'll probably sit at $10. That will be the quote unquote normal price. You'll get more than 1,000 players in this 1979 set. The 72 set, you'll get a lot more than that because there was no DH. So all of the pitchers got hitter cards, batter cards in that set, which every pitcher who had an at bat or got into a game. There was one instance of who was Ed Farmer. So here's an instance where Ed Farmer was a pitcher for the White Sox in '79. He got into one game, had no at bats. He was just a pinch runner, I guess, and so he actually gets a card because he got into the season as a batter that way. So you get everything. It's great for as played replays because you're going to get a card for every single player who pitched in a game or who got into a game as a batter or a pinch runner. So if you need those players to be able to get in or to bring them off the bench and get them that 1 or 2 or 5 or 8 at bats, then you have that person to be able to do that. It's also going to come with these card backs. These are printed badly, but you can print these card backs as well that have the season, and it will be easy to keep track of the seasons. You can see here, this is Farmer's card. Somebody else, let's see, Flanagan. So you can see the difference between the back. So this is a backless one. It's just blank on the back. And then I have these card backs that perfectly match up. So if you want to print out everything on one side and then put those back into your printer, and then you can use the card back file, and it's got the same number of players for the batters and the pitchers. Or if you just want to do them one at a time, you can figure out how to print those on your own printer to get them onto the card backs. Basically, however it comes through your machine, flip it over and then print it. You might want to sort of do some experimenting with that on just a blank sheet of paper before you try it on cardstock. You can see I messed up the first time because if you just flip them this way, they're upside down. So I needed to do a little bit of experimenting as well. And then when I did, it came out well. I just need to flip it the opposite way that I thought I did. So that comes with card backs. There's also a roster sheet that you can use with this game. So if you don't want to do cards and you just want to look on a roster sheet, what I've done is I've taken all the data that I used to create the cards and basically reformatted it into a usable roster sheet. So it's basically just a bunch of papers with rosters all on them. And it's got every player in the game just in the form of a roster sheet. So basically it's just a spreadsheet full of all of the same data with all the same values and things like that, and how they bat, what their primary positions are. As a team, all of this information here separated out by team, and then within each team it's separated out by how many plate appearances. That'll be your first person all the way down to your last player in terms of plate appearances. So all of your starters are going to be at the top, all of your mid-level players, your platoon players are going to be in the middle, and then all of your sort of pitchers and guys who didn't get in very much, they're going to be at the bottom of each team. So each team is separated out that way, and you can use those roster sheets. It'll take a little bit more because you'll have to sort of look up when you have a conditional, you're going to look up on the roster sheet, but it would keep you from having to print out all the cards if you don't want to do that. But just wanted to provide both a carded and a roster sheet option. I know that in the gamers who buy On Base, they really like the roster sheet setup. Some people prefer cards, so I just want to make that available to everyone. But you get those within the same download, so you don't have to pay any extra for the roster sheets or for the cards. You just sort of get it all together, and you can play it however you want to. Maybe some teams you want a card, some teams you don't. You can look through each team, all the batters are in one PDF, all the pitchers are in another PDF, and you can go through and print out just the ones that you want. They're not specifically carded by, well, they're separated by team, but you might get one sheet with half a team on the top and the beginning half of another team on the bottom. So you might have a little bit of extra, but it's not going to be a ton of extra if you don't want those players. All right. I think this is it. That's as good an introduction as I can give to the game. On this channel, you can also see on the On Base Baseball channel, you can see some other demo games that I've done with this. I played the 1979 World Series between the Orioles and the Pirates, and that was sort of my trial of playing the game. And it went to Game 7. The Orioles won this time. The Game 7 was a 3-2 victory. Who was it? Rick Dempsey hit a home run in the 6th inning as the game-winning home run that it turned out to be. Baltimore sort of hung on at the end. The Pirates were tough. They took a 3-1 lead in the series, and Baltimore came back, scrapped their way back to 2 more wins, and pushed it to Game 7, and then wound up winning Game 7. So they lost 3 of the first 4, and then they came back and won 3 straight to take home the 79 World Series. It was a good game. You can check that out on the On Base Baseball channel, YouTube channel. And don't know if I'm going to create an official channel for this. I think probably so. So be on the lookout for that. And probably a Facebook group as well. I think this game is going to do well. I hope that you're excited about it, because I'm pretty excited about the ease of creating teams. Really the only sort of things that I have to go through and do that aren't automated into the process are just making sure that each player is represented. Obviously, for 79, there are fewer players than there were in 72 just because fewer people got at bats. The pitchers are going to be about the same. So I have to just go through and make sure that the colors are matching for every player and stuff like that. But, most everything is automated except for their positions and how they bat, which, I have that data. I just have to kind of convert it a little bit. But hopefully this allows for me, because we're using sort of generic stats, and the walk percentage and the K percentage are actually calculated. I do those calculations in the spreadsheet. You could do the same things. It's just walks divided by plate appearances. It's not anything like amazing, right? So throughout baseball history, we have these stats, and we can use those and just sort of calculate them, even if we don't have like a formal statistic on a spreadsheet that says this is the person's K percentage, which those do exist, but it's just as easy for me to do that calculation in a spreadsheet. So we have the K percentage, same strikeouts divided by plate appearances, and then you convert that to a percentage. So times 100 will give you the percentage. So it's the values here are going to play throughout history, whether you're talking about hitters today or you're talking about hitters in 1922, whether you're talking about the Negro Leagues or Korean baseball or Japanese baseball or wherever baseball is played. These statistics are being kept, and so it should be that I can create seasons all throughout baseball history with relative ease. As you go farther back, there are fewer teams, so that makes things go a little quicker as well. So look for more teams, more seasons, probably going to start in the 70s. That way we can fully utilize this 1970s game engine, and we'll see about mixing and matching seasons, or having things like, like the Big Red Machine run or something like that, where you put together the seasons where Cincinnati won, all the years that Cincinnati won in the 70s or something like that, or the A's run of 3 championships. So some really interesting things I think that can be done there to bundle some things together, and that way you would have multiple seasons that you could play. But this is $7 is going to be the introductory price. You're going to be able to play an entire season with every carded player, with detail and sort of the special added kind of kick, or the unique thing of the conditionals for each of the different types of players. And hopefully it plays realistically and well for you. The dice are pretty easy to get. These are not, difficult dice to get. And If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. If you are excited about this, just be ready. I think in the next week or so, this game is going to be coming. I think it's sort of come together with some of the marketing materials. The website is good to go, and we're just about ready to launch everything. So thanks for everyone who has participated either as a game tester or has just participated in answering questions or asking questions that I've had along the way on the Facebook groups. I will be making an announcement on the different Facebook groups, whether it's sports simulations and replays or some of the baseball specific groups. And then you'll be able to go to the website and make that purchase. When you purchase, you can use PayPal or you can use a credit or debit card. So I've tried to make the purchase process super easy. As soon as you purchase the game, you can download it. There will also be an email receipt sent to your email and also a download link that will be sent to your email. So anytime, if for some reason you lose the download or accidentally throw it in the garbage and you didn't want to on your computer, you can go back and re-download the files as well. And if I make any changes to the seasons that you have purchased, then you'll be able to, I'll send out an announcement and you'll be able to download those again as well. But the game is getting very close. You can see there's a few edits that need to be made, a few mistakes that I've even pointed out here. So just going to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. And otherwise, 1979 is in the can and ready to rock. And like I said, I'm working on 72, so that's actually about halfway finished. So maybe I can, excuse me, I can release the game with two seasons for you to choose from, and that might be nice because maybe not everybody wants to play 79, or maybe you want both, and you can get both for less than $15. So it's a pretty good deal, especially at the introductory rate. And I think $10 is pretty reasonable for every carded player in a PDF with a game of this simplicity of components and things like that. So if you haven't subscribed to the OnBase channel, click subscribe. If you hit the little bell icon, then you'll be notified every time I put new videos out. And soon enough, I'll be posting new video content for OnBase Baseball. I wanted to get this out the door and then begin to work on OnBase a little bit, and maybe even Quick Play. I've had some opportunities to think about Quick Play and what can be done with it, and so maybe I'll be tinkering with that a little bit. And in related news, I've got 2 divisions down for No Huddle Football. So if you've been following No Huddle Football, that's another game that I've been making for the NFL. And I've got 2.5 divisions in the AFC done. So I'll be continuing to work on that. It might be the summer before that's available. Just trying to get these things out the door before spring training really gets up and started, and kind of ride the wave of the excitement of baseball. It's coming. Snow is on the ground. Lots of snow here lately. But one thing is for sure, baseball is coming. And so I keep hope alive, and hope springs eternal at spring training, right, for your team. All right, I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching all of these videos. Again, if you haven't seen some of the earlier videos in this series, just walk back through the playlist, and you'll be able to see all the different components in a little bit more detail, as well as the charts and how to go through and do the gameplay a little slower and a little more detail. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.